blow which you want to hear again and again.
All right, welcome back to another episode of the In Between Overs podcast. As always, we're your host for the day's play. I'm Tehran.
And I'm Ishan.
Okay, series wrap up. Border-Gavaskar, it's finally done, come to an end. Not the result that we wanted. Ended up being 3-1 for Australia. But what a series it was. Definitely had its ups and downs for both teams. Lots of battles, lots of controversies, on-field controversies, off-field controversies. We had some amazing performances with ball, bat, and we're going to unpack all of it in today's podcast.
Yeah,
How do
and
you
what
feel
a
about the series?
no, unreal series. And I was just saying, what a journey it's been covering it all. Each test match, watching each day, incredible. And as you mentioned, had everything. You did not miss anything on that list. Heroes, villains, controversy. It was a great spectacle, and it does not feel like it should be done. I feel like there should be another one in 6 months.
Yeah, I like the last few days have been very tough for me because there's no cricket for me to watch in the evening. There's a lot of T20. There's so many T20 matches going on, but I want Test cricket. That's what I want.
No, there's something about those white clothes and a red ball, and over 5 days, please give me some more.
Yeah, watching those battles where the batters are trying to score runs against the swinging ball, seaming ball against spin. It's just a lot of fun. Cool. All right, so let's get into our series recap here. We're going to start with talking about the series as a whole, going through each test match, and talking about the key performances in each match, as well as some of the turning points that took place in the match. So let us start with the first one in Perth. So we get to Perth. India gets to Perth after getting annihilated by New Zealand at home. And a lot of people didn't have a lot of expectations for this team when they walked into Perth. But they walk out of Perth with one match ahead in the series. And so
Yeah,
what...
no, it was incredible. And I think you were maybe adding this on. It was without our original captain, Rohit Sharma. So we were missing a key player, missing a captain, and a lot of people did not think that we would get a win in Perth. So very surprising win for Team India. And kudos to Bumrah at that time as well.
Yeah, and I think that was the match where we realized how good Bumrah was. So, quick recap, India batted first, they notched up 150, and you felt at that stage that Australia were just going to put up like a 300, 400 run score. And then I remember that spell on day one. It was at the end of day one when Bumrah just absolutely destroyed the top order. You had McSweeney playing his first match, had no idea what was going on. Then Kawaja got out, and remember he got Smith first ball as
Golden
well.
Duck.
Yeah, Golden Duck, and easily that was the highlight of the test match for me. And he's probably my key performer of that test match, 100%.
Yeah, no, undoubtedly. I remember I think we were potentially texting as well, and yeah, I believe
Yeah.
during our pod as well. I had originally thought that India's first inning score was a little bit less, but I think
Yeah.
you may have mentioned that no, let the other team bat. Let's see how it goes. And unreal spell by Bumrah and very very key wickets on a. People were saying that the Aussie opening first few batters were a little bit not in the best form going into the series, so. India definitely took some advantage because of that, and yeah, that spell really did. I think to your point was a turning point in that test match.
Yeah, 100%. 100% the turning point. Because then Australia got bowled out for 104, and then India comes out and they smash it out of the park. 487 for 6 declared. Jaiswal played you could say his first test match, second innings in Australia, but his first test match in Australia. And there were a lot of doubts over how he would play in Australia, and he lived up to every single expectation, and he smashed all those doubts with a breezy 161. Well, I wouldn't say breezy, but it was definitely assertive. Because his strike rate, I'm looking at it, was low, but it didn't seem like it. Like, he played some good shots in that innings. I remember that innings.
Yeah, no, incredible innings, and he really did announce himself in Australia with that score. And then, did we not all think Kohli is back, baby? That one again, wonderful 100, and that I think everyone's ears perked up when Kohli hit that 100. India was on the verge of winning the Test match. Everyone was like, "Oh, this is a series."
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. We felt like this was gonna be a closely fought series. It ended up being that way, but I feel like that win needed to happen for India to be able to even have a fighting chance in this series. So it was an important victory. I'm just looking at the scorecard here. I forgot that these players even played. Devdutt Padikkal and Dhruv Jurel. Completely
Ah,
forgot that they even played in the series.
yeah. I think I was watching one of the highlights on Twitter, and I saw Padikal in the slips, and I
Yeah.
totally forgot. I'm like, who is this lanky guy in the slips? And then I'm like, no, he did play. He did play.
Yeah, we had some injuries, right? Shubman Gill and Rohit Sharma, you said missed that test as well. So, yeah, so India came out with the W there. Key performers, as we said, Jasprit Bumrah. And from the Australian side, any key performers? I don't think they did good at all that game, like
No,
from a
no, I think it was
bowling and batting perspective.
yeah, I think it was a very muted performance from both ends.
Hmm.
No big innings to really fight to bring Australia back into the Test match, and no real spells really from Australia to sort of rein in the batters. So yeah, not the best wholesome performance from Australia at all.
Yeah. Cool. So then we get into the second test match. Second test match, there was a bit of a break from the first to the second, and a lot of pressure on Australia now. But they were going to the test match as favorites just because it was the pink ball test match at Adelaide. And we all know that amongst all the test playing teams, Australia plays with the pink ball the most and they have the most experience with it. And that clearly showed in the test match because India seemed like they need more practice with the pink ball for sure. They didn't put up much of a fight in the first innings, made 180, and the Australian bowlers were on fire. Mitchell Stark, I feel like that was the performance in that test match. That first inning, six for, kind of like killed India's chances.
Jaswal first ball, baby. That really set the tone. Jaswal followed by KL Rahul, who's looking good. First few innings for KL Rahul, he was looking good, and he was really showing his class. And yeah, a few other key wickets as well. I think it was Kohli as well. But yeah, very clutch, especially in the first innings. And that's just Mitchell Stark with the pink ball, right? He's done it for
Yeah.
years, and he's able to make it really sing.
Yep. Yeah. Shout out to Reddy in that first innings. I think that innings of 42 was his third innings of a 40 plus score in 3 innings of playing
Yes.
test match cricket. Right? And you started seeing like, oh, like this guy can bat. And that was the early signs of, okay, he's got some sort of technique and ability here. And it showed in that innings as well. Because it was his innings that helped get the score closer to 180. As India were looking in a bad spot at one point.
Yeah, no, it was if you look at the scores right there, that Australia's 337 was what really changed the game, right? That second
Yeah.
inning score, and
Travis
we
Head, that
I
guy.
hate that guy. I didn't want to say his name.
The perennial headache of India and the Indian cricket team.
He showed his class though. He did show his
Yeah, he
class,
did.
and it was one of those innings, and you got to give a little bit.
141 balls for 140. That is crazy.
No, I agree. I agree. But I think that you also have to give credit to two key players because I do think they were part of the turning points of the series. Because if we say Travis Head was that player of the test match, I think what really helped Travis Head was McSweeney's time at the crease as well as Marnus. Yeah, because I think they both played
Labuschagne,
over
yeah.
100 balls each, right?
They
So
did. And
tire
they
out the
batted,
bowlers.
yeah, they batted at nighttime too, if I remember correctly. When they were batting at night, which is supposed to be the hardest time to bat in a day-night
Mhm.
match.
Yeah. So incredible time at the crease for them, and you tire out the bowlers. The ball gets a little bit older, and then Travis Head, he can just take it to town after that.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think once he played that innings and got Australia to that score of 337, I don't think India stood a chance. Again, given the experience Australia has with the pink ball, and it showed again in the second innings. India didn't do much, put up 175, lead of, what was it, 20, 19, and then Australia obviously knocked it off quickly, and just like that, the series was 1-1.
Yeah, quick punch and counterpunch, and that's what you expect from a series between Australia and India. So yeah, if India got the better of Australia the first time, Australia definitely got better than India the second time. And yeah, what a series is set up, 1-1, and I think we were going into the Gabba.
Yeah, going into the Gabba, and this is another match where Australia were favorites because again it's the Gabba. However, India you could say that they would have gone into the match with some confidence given the fact that they won it last time, which actually won the series for them last time at the Gabba, which is supposedly the fortress in Australia. So yeah, the match started off with Australia batting first, and they put up again a big score, and again it was that guy
My
again.
head hurts. My head hurts.
Yeah, another amazing innings, and again at a strike rate of 95. Like, that's insane to do it back to back on different pitches, different balls. You could say similar bowling attack. However, India did. This was a match where they did drop Rana and they brought in Akashdeep. But still, like, Head didn't care. He played his game, put up 150. And then we also saw 100 from Stephen Smith too. Signs of him coming back to form in that match.
Yeah, no, Stephen Smith. Well, I think it was a scratchy innings from him, but that's
Scratchy 100.
sometimes how he gets himself out of that rut, right? So incredible from him, and as you mentioned, Travis Head just destroying India on that end. But yeah, 445. I think when you get that score, as the opposition, it's very uphill from there. So you know, the rain definitely helped India.
Yeah, the rain definitely helped India. What happened? India came out in the first innings, then responded with 260, thanks to a good rearguard action from Ravi Jadeja, and we saw that little partnership at the end. If you remember, Bumrah and Akashdeep got
Yes,
India
yeah,
above the
yeah,
follow on. They were
yeah.
celebrating like they won the
That
Test
was a
match.
big moment. That was a big
Yeah,
moment. Yeah.
that was a big moment, and I think that was in that was on. That shows you how much rain impacted that Test match. Like, it was day 4 when we're still talking about India's first innings, and yeah, the rain really saved India in that match. We saw Australia sort of capitulate, or they're good. They'll probably argue and say that they were going for quick runs. However, it didn't matter. They set a target of 275, which would have been super interesting. But once again, we had rain, and we didn't really get a chance to see what could have been.
Exactly, exactly. And if you notice, there's a pattern here. After the first test match, the series is set up beautifully. After the second test match, the series is set up beautifully. Now, after the third test match, the series is still set up beautifully. And I
Yeah,
think that's what it was. Every time you're like, oh, okay, this is getting better and better. Seemed like it was building up. And
yeah,
again, we saw a win from each side, and then we saw a draw. Unfortunately, yeah, because of the rain, we would love to have seen more action. But heading into Melbourne and Sydney now, it seemed like, okay, things may be looking a little good for India.
yeah. Because I think everybody said it, right. Like, if India were to walk into Test 4 and 5 at Melbourne and Sydney, two grounds which are, you could say, more India friendly pitches, or maybe said the other way, less Australia like pitches, right? They're not like the
Yeah,
Perth, they're not like Gabba, they don't have as much bounce as it does in those grounds. However, we were proven wrong, and we'll get to that when we get to Sydney. But you would think India would have been confident going into at least MCG, the Boxing Day Test match.
yeah, pitches that seemed great for a little Mr. known as Ravi Ashwin.
Yeah.
And,
Yes. I feel like that was like the key performance of the Brisbane Test match. Ravi Ashwin announcing his retirement. Yeah. Yeah, it was crazy. It's crazy that that happened the way it did. And I don't know what's this latest trend of like players just retiring mid-series.
I don't know.
I don't know if it's some politics involved, or there has to be something else that happened, and till this day nothing has been said. I'm sure there's something that happened that triggered him to do that.
A book will come out. A book will come
Yeah,
out, or it'll be on a
or a
podcast somewhere.
podcast.
Yeah,
Yeah, or a podcast. Kuttu
we'll see if we
stories.
get.
Kuttu,
No,
we'll
we'll
get
see
the
if
Kuttu
we'll
stories.
get him here. We'll get him here. We'll get him here. You'll hear it first.
Imagine that. Imagine that. That'd
Oh
be
my
epic.
god.
Yeah. Cool. So
But
we get
yes,
to MCG.
Series Dawn, MCG,
Yeah.
Boxing Day. What were your
Series
thoughts
draw.
at?
MCG. Oh man, I was super excited. It's like the best time of the year as well. Christmas season. People are on
Yes,
holidays. I know we were on holidays, and I was super excited to watch that match. And um, you may or may not agree with this, but I feel like the key performance of that test match was the debutant in that test match, Sam Constas, the 19-year-old. I think the way he came out in that first hour, no one saw that coming. Audacity to even attempt a ramp against the best bowler in the world right now. In your first innings, I think that set the tone, and his innings, that 60 that he made, set the tone for Australia to put up the score that it did. They ended up putting up 474, and this time it was Stephen Smith. He well and truly back in form, 140, class innings. I think it was the Steve Smith of old. You had the on drives, you had the off drives, you had the fidgetiness, you had him talking back to the bowlers in his own Stephen Smith way, where it's, oh, well bowled, you know. So it was a phenomenal innings, but I feel like Sam Constas definitely made it easier for them to bat.
yeah, no, it's definitely in the first innings. I think he definitely rattled the Indians a little bit, especially with the infamous now little shoulder barge that we ended up seeing. But
Yes.
that's all part of the sport.
Yeah.
Some say no, it's not. But we'll leave that to people who think their own. No, it was Contest really did set it up for them, and I know we'll be talking about him in the second innings as well, but you
Hmm.
can't oversee Cummins' 49.
Oh
Cummins
yeah.
with the bat was quite impressive, especially this test match.
Yeah, yeah, especially that test match, and especially in the second innings, because Australia put up the 474, and then India responded well on the back of an amazing 100 by Nitish Kumar Reddy. You could say he was India's standout performer in that test match. He
100%.
did really well. India were looking down the barrel again until his innings. They were 7 for 221. And then from there to get to 369, shout out to Washi as well, Washington
Yes,
Sundar, with a nice 50, really held his own, showed good application, good defense in his 50, and got India to 369 and turned the match into a game. Because for a long time it looked like Australia were again going to run away with it until that innings brought India closer. And then we get to the second innings where once again Bumrah, as he did all series, made havoc of Australia's top order. And at one point Australia were 91 for 6. 91 for 6 with a lead of 190 something. And India were looking like favorites at that point.
no, it was incredible. I remember watching him get Travis Head out, and at that moment, I think Travis Head got out at one or two. Unbelievable, because that really, I guess, lifted the tails of the Indians, and in terms of, oh, we can actually, forget about Australia declaring, we can get them all out. And then I think he also got Alex Carey out as well, around the
Yeah,
wicket in swinger, right? And I think
it
that
was
that
literally yeah, it was literally like Australia were literally 80 for 2 in 30 in the 33rd over. And then at the end of the 36th over, they're 91 for 6. In
yeah,
3 overs, 4 wickets fell.
yeah, no, that's a Boomer effect, right? And that's what you've been
Yeah.
seeing all series long. Where if there is one Indian bowler who can change the complexion of a Test match in any given session, it could be Bumrah, and he did that especially at the MCG.
Yeah. Yeah, and then you had Cummins come in, to your point earlier, with another solid 40. And don't forget Marnus Labuschagne. Amazing 70 in that innings. He worked hard for it, but he held that
Scratchy,
one end. Scratchy, but it was important in the
very
end of
much
it,
so.
because if you take his 70 out of 234 and then you have Australia at what, 150, 160, and you're looking at India chasing 250, 260 on the last day instead of the 300 plus that it ended up being.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. So unfortunate for India, but you lose a Boxing Day Test match.
Yeah, and the way that last day went down too, we got to talk about that because India came out with intentions to draw. We were all curious to see what they would do, and they seem to have decided to draw the test match, or maybe they wanted to take it deep. And it looked like it was going India's way until that final session where Mr. Rishabh Pant, I don't know what shot that was. I mean, I think I said this on our episode when we covered that day's play. I feel like the shot was on. He just didn't execute it properly. No, wait, no. This was the one against Head. What am I
No,
saying?
dude.
This was the
What
one
shot was
that
on?
was
What
no
shot
that
was
shot.
on?
No, I got confused with the one in Sydney.
Yeah,
Yeah. No, that shot was not on. That was an
yeah.
absolute terrible shot. Like,
Stupid, stupid, stupid.
why would you play that shot in those circumstances against a part-time bowler? You know he's there because they ran out of options, they ran out of ideas. Cummins didn't know what else to do, and he throws Head the ball, and you gift them a wicket, and you gift them a chance back into the game. And Australia grabbed it by the scruff of the neck, and they didn't let go.
No, no. I think one of the highlights of Mitchell Marsh's test series with that catch, but no,
Oh yeah, that's a
that was
drive-by. That's a drive-by. Jeez.
Hey, look. If I'm gonna make fun of the Indians, I gotta make fun of at least some of the Aussies. Come on now.
Fair enough. Fair
Let me
enough.
go now let me go at Rishabh Pant for a second. Stupid, stupid, stupid. I have no words. It was unfortunate because to your point, I think the session had just restarted again and he was looking good. And if they had played, I would say 6 more overs. I think we mentioned this in the pod as well. If they played maybe 6 more overs into the session, I think Australia would have given up. They would have, started using more part-time bowlers, started allowing the singles and doubles, and then maybe they would have shook hands with 5 overs remaining, similar to how they did in Sydney in the last BGT. Right?
Yeah.
It was that's what I was looking at, and I think that would have set up the series for incredibly well as well. Um,
Yeah.
but that shot allowed the floodgates to open, and then
Yeah.
when you offer a little bit of hope to the Australians, that's when their best bowling comes out, and they really showed it then.
Yep. And you saw some umpiring decisions, controversies, whatever you want to call it, with Jaiswal's wicket and then
Yes.
Akashdeep's wicket. And poor old Joel Wilson was sitting in the third umpire box, and he somehow ends up in those situations.
Always, it's
Somehow
always Joel Wilson, and people always mention it. Oh, it's Joel Wilson
wait, it was Joel Wilson was the umpire on field. It
on
was
the
it
field.
was
Yeah.
he was the one he made both those decisions. He gave not out, and then it was I think it was the Bangladeshi umpire. I think it was Saikat.
I
He
think you're
was the
right. I
third.
think you're right.
Yeah, he was
And
the
and
third
then
umpire
and then they push Joel to third umpire, and then
for the
the next
next
test
game.
match.
Yeah, yeah. But you know what? That test match, although it wasn't a good result for India, by far it was the best test match of the series. By far,
Oh,
not even close.
100%. a hundred
Yeah.
percent, 100%. I think it was a lot of ups and downs, and the hope that Bumrah gave you, and then the hope Jaiswal and Pant gave you, but unfortunately, didn't get the result that India wanted.
Yeah, it was so topsy turvy. Like going into each day, it was hard to give a team and the edge because another team fought back, the other team fought back, and then going to day 5, you had all 4 results possible. Right?
Yes,
It was,
yes, yes.
and those are the test matches that are the ones for the ages. When you get into the final day and you still have all results possible.
Even the spectators, everyone's kind of sitting on a knife's edge because no one got out, so let me stay in my spot for the next 3 hours just in case.
Yeah. That would have been a heck of a Boxing Day test match to watch for sure. Cool. So then the series is now 2-1. India, no chance of winning the series, but they still have a chance to retain the Border-Gavaskar series. And again, this made the series so exciting because Australia still had to fight to at least get a draw and make sure they didn't lose, because had they lost Sydney, they would have given up the trophy again. And
Yes.
this is a team that hasn't won the Border-Gavaskar series, whether it was played in India or Australia, for the last 10 years, right? So they are going into the final test match with an opportunity to finally win this elusive trophy for this group of players, the Australian team I'm talking about. And what a test match it was. So we start off, India won the toss, decided to bat first again. Bold move from Bumrah, which, by the way, we must talk about that. Rohit Sharma decided to drop himself from the test match and
Yep,
then
yep,
does
yep.
an interview saying that he hasn't retired and he's not going anywhere.
What happened this series? What happened this series? It was nothing short of an Indian soap opera.
Yeah, it was just amazing to watch. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so Rohit Sharma doesn't play.
But right choice, right choice. Whoever decision that was, I think
Yes.
going into that test match, Rohit Sharma was not at great, not looking like a cricketer at all. From fielding, from captaincy to, and let's not
Captaincy,
even talk
yeah.
about batting. Right, we didn't even get to the batting. So
Yeah.
I think India wanted to win, so they had to have to drop Rohit Sharma.
Yeah. And just to go back to the MCG test for a second, I felt like he shouldn't have opened that in that test match. They should
Nope,
have just left Rahul at the top, and maybe he should have just come in one down.
100%.
Right? But anyways, they did what they did. They did the right thing in Sydney not playing him because he's completely out of form. And it's good because it showed that they wanted to put the best team out there to win that test match. And if that meant dropping the captain, then so be it. And I thought that was great.
Yeah, no, a bold move. So I completely agree as well. You sometimes have to, make those hard decisions, whoever the decision that was, and put the team first, quote unquote. So no, I agree.
Yep. So India batted first, bold move from Bumrah to make India or ask India to bat first, and not the Sydney pitch that we expected. Generally, Sydney's on the slower side. Felt like we were back in Perth again, or Brisbane, Gabba for that instance.
Yeah, yep. And as the commentators were saying, a good toss to lose.
Yeah, great toss to lose because Australia, through to the magic of Scotty Boland, got India out for 185. And some good starts from the Indian batting. Rishabh Pant played a very un-Rishabh Pant innings,
Yes,
but he
yes,
hung
very
in there
slow.
and yeah, very slow. At a certain point, it looked like India would have put something of a challenging total, but ended up with 185. Felt like they could have played a little faster. Could have pushed the scoring a little more, but I guess the pitch was super challenging because then we saw Australia come out to bat and they got bundled out for 181.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that that bowling performance from Team India was a very good, cohesive, collective bowling performance. I think everyone, was really gunning for the wickets, and Prasidh Krishna, I think that was
Because
his first official. Was it?
Bumrah left the field, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Bumrah
yeah.
left the field. That was a key moment in the test match.
Yes. No, he left. Was it in
Yes, he did.
this?
Yeah,
In
because he
this?
only
In the
bowled.
first innings or the second
Yeah,
innings?
in the first innings because he only bowled 10 overs.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes, yes. Because he bowled some during the first day's play.
that's right. That's
Yes,
right.
you are correct. You are correct. Yes, yeah. So yeah, even despite Bumrah's absence, both from a captaincy perspective and from a bowling perspective, after both innings, the match was on.
Yeah. Match was totally on. And kudos to Kohli for his captaincy too, because he took over the captaincy from Bumrah. Must not have been easy. But you feel like he's always involved with the leadership group. So I don't think it was that much of a challenge for him. But yeah, the other bowlers stepped up in that innings, got India a small lead, and you felt like this was India's chance to put up some sort of a target. The wicket was still spicy. You felt like maybe if they got to 200 or even 250, that was the game right there. But unfortunately, it wasn't meant to be. They ended up at 157. A fantastic bowling performance. Boland ended up with 10 wickets from the match, 6 in that second innings. Definitely the key performance of that test match.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. India in the second innings, I think each player had a reason to perform. I think it would have been a story ending or of the series for those players. Whether that would have been Jaiswal with another big daddy 150 plus, or KL Rahul, or even Shubman Gill. Really showing why he deserved to be there from the beginning.
Yeah.
Or even Virat Kohli starting off the series with a century, ending off the series with a century. It was poised for one of those incredible endings.
But we did get
Unfortunately,
one. We did get one incredible innings in the form of Rishabh Pant 61.
Yes, yes. No, no,
Yeah,
I
that we
do, I
can't forget
do.
about that one.
No, no, we
Yeah.
cannot. The when he was hitting the ball, especially as you
Yeah,
mentioned, the dichotomy between his first innings and his second
yeah,
innings.
yeah.
Oh
Night
my
and day,
goodness, night
night
and
and
day.
day.
He,
Yeah.
and
The,
it was Rishabh Pant of ease. He was just like
yeah.
slapping Stark, like oh,
This is
like
the
oh,
first ball. The first
yeah,
ball that he faced against Scotty Boland, who we
I
just said
know.
was the performer of that test match. Bowled his heart out. Just steps out to him and smacks him over his head for a six.
Yeah, yeah. No, no. I recall watching the replay over and over again. I kept noticing Scotty Boland. As soon as he got hit, he looked right back at Punt, and Punt didn't even look at him. Punt just doing his thing, like touching the ground or whatever. You know, like.
Yeah,
No, you're
yeah,
no, no. Punt, yeah, Punt 60. It's worth its weight in gold. Don't get me wrong, but there was a lot of
he needed
lone
someone
good.
else.
Yeah, that was a team cross all the test matches. Bumrah just needed that one more bowler, I felt, or that, you
Yeah,
needed that one partnership, right? It was always that collective effort that was perhaps missing at times.
yeah. Yeah, yeah, and you're right. Every innings it felt like one batter stood up, but that was it. You needed another batter to step up and make a. You had people scoring like 40s and 50s, but we needed another one scoring hundreds, right? And that just didn't happen. So yeah, and then it ended up with Australia needing 162, and I remember this very well because all the talk was about is Bumrah going to bowl in that final innings, and as soon as he did not take the field, you felt that that was the game right there.
Yeah, yeah, and you could tell even by the Australians, Kawhi just seemed like he was back in
Yeah,
form, right? It seemed like everyone was batting
yeah,
fine. And
yeah,
to your point, I did have hope that India could maybe do something, but no, I think Prasid Krishna tried. Siraj had the opportunity to really, really make a name for himself, but unfortunately, would you say the pressure got to him, or just not too many
yeah,
runs on the board, or just tired? It was a long,
yeah,
long stretch for
yeah,
Siraj, especially, right? So.
yeah.
Unfortunately, no, just India couldn't cross the line. And as you were saying, after 10 long years, the BGT trophy now sits with the Aussies.
Yes, yes, and that was it. They tried their best and they just couldn't get enough wickets. You felt that 50 for three, there was still a chance, but wasn't meant to be. Webster had an amazing test match. Can't forget giving a shout out to him. His debut match in that 50 in the first innings, his fielding in the slips, bucket hands or backtub hands, as I like to say, and even bowling, like supported the bowlers with some chop out overs, as the Aussies call it, and then finished off with the winning runs as well. What a feeling that must have been.
Incredible feeling, especially, spending so many years down in Shield cricket and,
Yeah,
really,
it's not a spring
get.
chicken.
No, 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 dude, and not at all, not at all.
31.
And
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah. And to get an opportunity and really, with those bucket hands, grab it all, incredible, incredible story.
yeah. And there it is. Australia have regained the Border-Gavaskar series after 10 long years. This group has finally done it. Patrick Cummins, this guy has it all. Except for a T20 World Cup, he's got every single trophy in the cabinet. And you could argue that he probably would have had the T20 World Cup had he. Did he play the one in the UAE? I don't know. I don't know if he played that one.
I
But
don't
if he
not
played,
sure.
yeah, I can't remember. But either way, phenomenal performance by the Aussie team. If you look at it as a whole, after reviewing the series, you felt like the better team did win. Australia definitely, other than Perth, in all the other matches, they were definitely ahead for majority of the game, and they were able to win the 50-50 situations, which you find in test matches is always the key. The teams that win the 50-50 situations are usually the teams that go on to win the match and the series.
Nope, you're exactly right. There was those moments where the game was hung in a balance, and each time it seemed like the Aussies won that balance, right? Whether that was breaking the partnership for bunt in that one innings, or Pat Cummins really, getting that score up for them in I think was it the GABA? No, it wasn't the GABA. What was that one? Where Pat
That,
Cummins, the
that was at
240
the
scores.
MCG, the 240 at
TG,
the
yeah, yeah,
MCG,
240,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, incredible. So to your point, as you were saying, whenever the game was hung in the balance, it did seem like the Aussies were able to find a way for themselves.
Yeah, Yeah, so now we want to dive into our ratings for the players. So this is what we're gonna finish off the pod with. This is gonna be the fun segment for us. We were looking forward to doing this. So we're gonna go through India and Australia, all the players that played, and give them scores. So let's start with India, Team India.
Yeah, let's start with Team India.
All right.
How about I go from lowest to highest?
Okay, I was just gonna go through the squad and just name the scores
Let's
as you
go.
go through
Let's
some.
go. Let's go that way.
Yeah. All right. So I'll call out the players and then you tell me the scores that you rated them. So Ishan's he's gonna rate Team India and I'm gonna rate the Australian team. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull up the squads here for the first test. So okay, perfect. I have it all here. All right, so I'm just gonna go through the players and then give me a score. So Yashasvi Jaiswal.
Jaswal, this series, I'm gonna give him a 7.5.
Nice, nice, nice. I think I agree with that. He was probably India's best batsman.
Yeah, undoubtedly. And I was initially gonna say 8, but I think an 8 performance would have been in relation to perhaps another. I wouldn't say a match winning
The
knock, but
MCG, like the
yeah,
MCG, if
yes,
India came out with a draw there, yeah, I agree with that.
100%, a hundred
Yeah,
percent. At least that
yeah,
partnership that led to something, right?
yeah.
Unfortunately, just couldn't do that. Well, he's still a young player, and don't get me wrong, very promising. But yeah, I would say a 7.5.
Okay, all right. Dhruv Jurel.
Dhruv Jurel. Unfortunately, I don't think he had a lot of opportunities this test match. Sorry, this series. I will give him a 1.5.
Okay, okay, I agree with that. Devdutt Padikkal.
I think there was one innings of him, I believe, where he played, I think, quite a few balls. So I would give him a 2.
Okay,
A
okay.
little higher than Dhruv Jurel. That's where my benchmark was.
All right, all right. Okay, here's a big one. Mr. Virat Kohli.
This is one where I had to struggle with my internal biases because
Okay.
I am a big fan of Virat Kohli. I would put Virat Kohli's performance through the entire Test series, and I took into consideration his batting as well as him also taking in the reins of captaincy at the last Test match as well. I will put him at a 4.5 out of 10.
Ooh, I think that's a really good score. I think it's a really good score. I thought you would go higher, but I don't think he deserved to go higher because
No,
other than that 100, he did nothing in the entire series. Absolutely nothing.
no, and the worst part is, like, I know
Yeah,
it's we say this all the time. Everyone keeps saying it, but it's true.
the
He
way he
keeps
got
getting
out.
out. Yeah, he keeps getting
Yeah,
out the same way. And if you get out, maybe trying to do a shot or whatever, trying to progress the game forward in a different way. Sure, but if you get out by the same way, that's not a good sign at all.
yeah, 100%. I agree with that. Okay, cool. Moving on. KL Rahul.
Gil Rahul. So he had some incredible innings, and unfortunately, I do feel that if he had stuck um, opening, I think that would have worked better in his favor. I will give Gil Rahul a 6.5 out of 10.
Oh, these are good scores. Yeah, I would agree with that. I would agree with 6.5. I think he did really well and he sort of tapered off towards the end of the series, right? You felt like a big score was coming, but it just never ended up coming. And I think he ended up with what? I think it was only the 150 that he had across the series, right?
Yep.
He had some good starts and you felt like a big score was around the corner, but it just never came. And I felt like if he did get a big score, it actually would have probably helped India a lot in terms of scoring, putting up scores.
Yeah, and I hate saying this, but that's also very, very reminiscent of Gil Rahul's career, where you're like, he's so good, he just needs to do it. He's like, you see him so good, but it
That's
just
true.
doesn't. He just doesn't, unfortunately.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah, six
yeah.
6.5 for KL Rahul. So far, yeah,
All right.
Jaiswal is the highest rated batter at 7.5, and then I'll put KL Rahul at 6.5.
All right. Mr. Captain, or should we say former captain, Rohit Sharma.
I'll have to give Rohit Sharma a 1.
I knew it. I knew it. I knew
What, what was his average? What was his average?
his average was probably a 1. His average was probably a 1. Jeez.
No, it's
mean,
quite
yeah.
unfortunate when your highest wicket taker has more wickets than runs you have in a series,
Jeez. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You know, again, I love Rohit Sharma. I'm a big fan of him, especially the white ball. Don't get me wrong. I always believe in his red ball game, but you know, unfortunately, he just hasn't been performing well. You know, the last few while.
Yeah. I can't argue that
You
score.
agree?
I think I agree. I think you could argue it's a little generous. You could argue it's a little generous. Yeah, maybe a 0.5 or a 0.25, maybe.
See, the 0.5 I'd give as a Sharma bias. You know, I can't be giving a 0.5.
All right. I give you that. All right, next batsman, Rishabh Pant.
Rishabh Pant. I will give Rishabh Pant a 4.5 out of 10. My rationale being is that apart from that exquisite 60 and that, you know, that control, I think it was that controlled 40 in the first innings,
Yeah.
he going into the series, I felt that he would have been the game changer in the series. Where, you know, every innings it would have been the same feeling as KL Rahul, where oh, he's due for some runs, he's gonna score
Yeah.
some big runs. But
Yeah.
Rishabh Pant, you know, some stupid shots here and there. So yeah, my
That
rating
shot
would,
against
yeah.
Head too. Oh my
So yeah,
goodness.
4.5 out of 10 for me. You agree or
All
disagree?
right. Yeah, I agree with that. I probably would have gone like a 5, but I can live with a 4.5 because he had the opportunity to do better. He had opportunities to really take the game forward for India. Even that 60, like, I mean, okay, I might be harsh saying this, but he could have shifted gears a little bit to drag the game forward even more, or to drag the score forward even more. Maybe I'm being harsh because he was in scintillating form, but yeah, I think a 4.5 is a good score.
Fair.
All
So
right.
far, I feel like you agree with me. So I'm not being too biased. Thank God, because one
No.
of my biggest concerns was I hope I wasn't too biased for Team India.
No. I like your scores. They're solid scores. Solid scores. All right.
Yeah.
So
So
let's
far,
go.
highest is Jaswal right now, and the lowest is unfortunately Rohit Sharma.
Yeah, so we're getting into the all-rounders, if you will, now. So looking at the first one, Ravi Jadeja,
Ravi
Mr. Jaddu.
Jadeja's Jaddu. So Jaddu's a solid player, and I think he gave you what he could give. I think he could have given a lot more with the ball. And I think he could have been a little more reliant with the bat at times. I know he gave you that, I think, 70 score once, and that
Yeah.
good partnership with Punt as
And
well,
then he had a 30 or 40 in
30 or
Sydney.
40.
Yeah.
So I would give Jaddu a 4 out of 10.
Ooh, okay. I would give him a 5. I
Okay.
would say, yeah, I would say from a batting, he held his own. I think he was a little disappointing with the ball. He wasn't able to take wickets. Mind you, the wickets weren't suited for spinners, which we didn't talk about this, but like sometimes I wonder why India went with 2 spinners, and I think they just literally wanted to lengthen the batting lineup. That's why they did it. But I don't think, like, you see Nathan Lyon, like
What do you
we
do?
haven't even talked about him
I
once in
know.
the entire series,
And he's a
right?
GOAT. He is the
And
GOAT.
he is a goat, exactly. So yeah, bowling was a little underwhelming when he did bowl Jaddu. So yeah, 4 or 5, I'm okay with either. All right, next is Nitish Kumar Reddy.
I think it was a great series for him.
Yeah.
And I think he had some great knocks. You know, I think that 100 was well deserved. I would have loved him to score some big innings, especially the last Test match. But I'm gonna give him a 7 out of 10.
Okay.
So just between KL Rahul and Jaiswal. KL Rahul 6.5, Reddy 7, Jaiswal 7.5.
Okay. That's good. That's a good score. That's when you put it that way, that's a good score. I was thinking a 6.
Okay,
And
okay.
my rationale is because he was picked as an all-rounder. And I may be being harsh. His batting phenomenal. Okay, amazing series. Exceeded expectations. but he was in the team for his bowling. He's batting at 8. Okay, so from a bowling standpoint, a little underwhelming. I think his speed is not there. He needs to put on another 5Ks or so.
Yeah.
His length and line at times was there. Like in the Sydney Test match, he really pulled his socks up when Bumrah stepped out, and he was able to take a couple wickets and give India that slender lead. But he wasn't penetrative enough for long periods of time. You felt that like a bad ball was always coming with him, right? So just because he was picked as an all-rounder and he was picked as India's fourth seamer, I would give him a 6.
Yeah, you know what? That's a fair criticism, especially from the bowling side. You did want to see him bowl more overs. Especially how we saw what led to sort of Bumrah's injury and the over reliance on Bumrah and Siraj for those overs. Yeah, you definitely you want a bowler for a fourth option who can get those overs in. So I
Yeah,
agree with that.
exactly.
Yeah, fair enough.
All right, next is Washington Sundar.
Washi, why do we pick two? Why do we pick two spinners?
I know, why?
Right? Like,
Exactly. The more you think about it, it's like, what the hell? Just might as well have picked up a full batsman.
yeah,
Right?
no, I completely. You had Petticoat, just put him at 7 or something.
Yeah. Might as well have. The batting didn't do shit. The batting was
Yeah.
a problem in the series, if you look at it, right?
No, 100%, 100%. For Washi, I think with the circumstances, I think he, with the bat, he did as much as he could at times. I will give him a 3 out of 10, 3 or 3.5 out of 10.
Okay. Yeah, didn't really do much with the ball.
No.
But held his own with the bat in that 50 when he had that partnership with NKR.
Yep.
And then he hung in there in other innings as well. I think in Sydney as well, if I'm not mistaken, he hung in there.
He was net out in the last test match as well, right?
Yeah. So
Off
yeah,
of 40.
it's harsh, but it's not fully his fault because he didn't get the opportunity to bowl long spells and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'd be okay with a 3.5, but I'd probably push him up to a 5. Probably pushing him up to a 5, like a
5 out of 10.
4.5.
Okay, fair enough.
4.55, because I don't think we expected much with him with the bat, right? And he gave us more than what we would have expected, and he didn't get the opportunity to do anything with the ball.
Fair, just
right?
because how the conditions were.
So you
No,
can't
that's a
really
good
judge
point.
him on the bowling standpoint, yeah. All right, and then Mr. Retiree, Mr. Ex-Indian cricketer, Ravichandran Ashwin.
Pink ball Ashwin.
Yeah.
It's tough, man. It's tough
I
because
wish he played. I wish he played in MCG in Sydney.
I know.
wish he played.
I think we could have used his mind, especially trying to
Oh my
break that
gosh.
partnership with Cummins at the end of times.
Yeah.
He could break those partnerships, no matter what the wicket is, right? So I agree. I will give him, based on that one test match, you could give him a 1, really, but I'm gonna give him a 1.5 and save the 1 for Rohit Sharma.
He made a nice little 20. He made a nice little 20 in that test match with NKR, got India up to 180 in the Adelaide test match.
How many wickets did he get?
I know. I think he got 1, right?
That's 1, I think.
All right, so 1.5 is fair. 1.5 is fair. 1 for the wicket, 0.5 for the 20.
Fair. And then he retired.
Yeah, and then he retired. All right, let's get into the bowling. I guess we got to start with the man of the bowlers, Jasprit Bumrah.
Do I have to say anything? A man who broke his back carrying the team. Who literally broke something carrying the team. You got to give him 10 out of 10, 100% on the class. You pass. You're next semester, buddy. No, I
gotta disagree.
I'm saying 10 for Bumrah.
I'm saying 11.
Okay. No, fair enough. You got me there for a sec.
Yeah, no, phenomenal performance, man. That you couldn't have asked for more. Bro, he even saved a test match for India with a bat. Like at the Gabba, that partnership with Akash. Yeah. Like he did everything that you could think of. He captained India. He helped India win a test match at Perth. Captain, bowled, did everything that he could. There's nothing more you could have asked out of him. And he did so much that, like you said, he broke his back carrying the team. Like, insane. And I just hope that he recovers fast. I just hope he recovers well and that it doesn't affect his bowling going forward.
No, I completely agree. He's a big part of India's cricket plans in all formats, whether that's ODI, T20s, or Test matches. And you really want him to be prepared and ready.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, moving on. Harshit Rana.
Harshit Rana. I would give Harshit Rana a 2. I think he had, one innings that was decent, but apart from that, he's very, very leaky. And I think he was a big part of the reason why Travis Head really had a show on India.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the first innings at Perth, when he bowled, I was like, India have unearthed a gem.
Yeah, I think
Especially the
you
ball.
you related to Umesh Yadav.
Yeah. That was like, yo, like, no way this guy's bowling that well. And the way he got Travis Head out with the ball, I'll never forget that. That was his first wicket, I think, that match.
Yes, coming in,
Yeah,
yeah.
debut match, right? Coming in and then moving away. I was like, oh my goodness, what a ball. But then I think that was the highlight of his series. Because after that, like, who is Ashwin Rana?
I know. And then you had over the stump Mike Mitchell Stark telling Harshit, I
Oh,
bowl faster
yeah.
than you.
I bowl faster than
Don't
you,
forget,
Harshit.
I bowl faster than you.
Oh, okay. All right. So what was the score again? 2 out of 10?
Yeah, I would say 2 out of 10.
Yeah.
2.5, but on the
All
low
right.
side for sure.
Okay. Mr. DSP, Mohammad Siraj.
So this is a rating that I struggled with a little bit because
Okay.
as a bowler, fast bowler, playing all 5 test matches is a big feat. Is a huge feat. And he's had his up and downs. And, I don't think he had that good of a series as he had last time he was in Australia. But I think, he really did put in the work where we're required. I'm balancing this with a lot of the especially the innings with Head, where Head was destroying Siraj left, right, and center. I'm gonna give Siraj a 5 out of 10.
I was thinking you were gonna say that. I thought you were gonna say the 5.5. I'll take the 5. I agree with that. I think he could have done better. I like that he played all the test matches. It shows that his fitness is good. But I felt like he was just not consistent enough. He was not consistent enough, and especially when he is India's, you could say after Bumrah, he's India's next best bowler in
Yep,
the
number 2
squad.
option, right?
Yeah, number 2 option, and you couldn't have those types of performances where he was hot one time and then the next time he was cold. And then he was hot again and then he was cold. You needed more consistency, and I don't think we got that from him.
Not at all. And, you really wish for him because, he can really flip the script at any time. But unfortunately, just didn't have those moments in the series at all.
Yeah. All right, Akash Deep.
Ooh, this was an interesting one. I think he had some great spells, and I
All
will
I
give
remember is that 6, bro. All I remember is that 6.
hey, incredible 6 off Cummins, right? And yeah, I would have to give him a 3.
3 out of 10? Okay, yeah,
3 out of
I
10.
can see that, yeah. He
He
bowled
saved the follow
well
on,
with,
right?
yeah, he saved the follow on. He did bowl well with not a lot of luck. He didn't have a
Yes.
lot of luck at all. You felt like at times he could have come out with a fifer with the way he was bowling, but there's just no luck. And yeah, he unfortunately got injured. Otherwise, he would have played that last test match in Sydney, and he probably would have done a good job in Sydney. But yeah, it wasn't meant to be. And yeah, I could get with that score for him. Okay, finally, the last rating for Team India, Prashid Krishna.
It's hard to really put ratings for one who just plays one test match.
Yeah,
And, Prasad Krishna, though, I think it was an incredible test match for him. So
6
it's hard to
wickets
rate
in the
the.
test match.
Yeah, so how do you rate 6 wickets in test match? Like, you should rate that pretty high.
Yeah,
So
and I think you should, because you can only judge him on the matches that he's
that's
played, and
true.
he's played the one test match, right?
No, so I think as third option for a bowling lineup getting 6 wickets.
Second option in the second innings, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And really putting a lot of that pressure on you. especially
Yeah,
with Siraj not really performing as well as he wanted to in that second innings. You'd have to give him a 6 or 6.5 out of 10 in my eyes.
yeah. I was thinking that as well.
Because
Six,
if
six
he
and a
was
half.
able to turn it around, if he was able to
Yeah,
like do a Bumrah,
take a fifer or something. Yeah.
right, and like maybe put India really back in the game, then you would have put him to like 8-9 maybe, because that would have then decided the series. So I
Yeah,
would put him at a 6.5. It was good to see him play, and a little bit extra as well for getting a Smith out on 9-9-9-9.
yeah. Got some good bounce out of those wickets for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Cool, awesome.
All right.
So
So now it's
there
my
we have
turn.
it. Now we're gonna flip the roles. Yeah, reverse the roles. So do you have the squads up there for
I
Australia?
have the squads up here. Yeah, so we'll go batters, and then we'll go all rounders, and then we'll go bowlers. Sound well? So similar to what
Okay,
you did.
sounds good.
All
All right.
good? Okay. So let's start off with Usman Khawaja.
Ooh, Usman. All right. So not the greatest series for him. He got a couple of starts. You felt like we said this a few times where he was in the slipstream of some other players, right, who weren't doing well. And you could argue that he should have been the one dropped
Yeah,
instead of
there's
Nathan
100%
McSweeney,
argument there.
right?
100%. Yeah.
100%, right? So, I mean, he did come on and say he got Bumrah, but you know what? I would rate him solid 3 out of 10.
Yep.
Yeah.
I would not
Because
disagree with that.
if it wasn't for that 40, probably a 2.5
Yes, completely
in the
agree. That
in the
40
final
saved the
innings.
series for
Yeah.
him. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that really, I would say, helped Australia settle its nerves and then really, you know, go for the win in that test
Yeah.
match, right? So, no,
Yeah.
I completely agree with that rating.
Yeah. And he did have a 50 at MCG, the one that where Constance played, but
Oh,
it felt
yes.
like but it felt like India didn't bowl well in that innings. India
No,
didn't
no, no.
bowl well, and so it made it easier for him. So, but in the when Australia needed him to step up, he didn't really do much. So I would put him at a 3 out of 10.
Okay, no. I agree with that. I agree with that. Let's go with Marnus Labuschagne.
Marnus Labuschagne. He ended up with 3 fees in the entire series. You got to give him that. There was a lot of pressure on him. There
It
were calls for
was,
him to be dropped, right?
especially early on. Yep.
Yeah, especially early on, and I don't think people have rated his performance in the series as much as they should have, because the 50s that he made were really good 50s. Like they were at 50s that Australia needed. And so I would give it a 7 out of 10 for Marnus.
Yep.
After
Yep.
given the pressure he was in, that test match where he had to score and he scored, right? And even Adelaide, even that little 30-40 he made, he ate up a lot of balls. He saw off Bumrah, he batted at night. He helped Australia then unleash Travis Head, make a big score. So yeah, 7 out of 10.
I completely agree with that. I think you mentioned, especially with the shaky opening stance that they had, Australia's been having
Yeah.
for a while. He's coming in early, facing the new ball, Bumrah. So no, I completely agree. It was difficult, and he ended up finding a way. I'm cool with that. No, okay, fair. No, so far so good. We're aligned. Let's go with little Stephen Smith.
Steve Smith, 200, second one, beautiful 100. Didn't do much in the first couple of matches, but yeah, towards the end, looked unstoppable. 7.5 out of 10.
Yep. I was thinking as long as it's higher than
Marnus, yeah.
Marnus, then
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I
seven
was
and a
thinking
half.
about an 8. I was
I
thinking
was gonna say as well. Yeah, you couldn't.
could go with an 8. Could go with an 8 too. Yeah.
No. So what do we stick with? You gotta stick with one number.
Okay, I'll go 8. I'll go 8.
Go
Okay.
8. Okay,
Yeah.
fair. No, I'll keep it at 7.5 for me.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Travis Head. Okay.
8.5 out of 10. I would have gone 9.5, but he tapered off in the last couple of matches. The reason why I went so high is because those back-to-back hundreds was just insane. Like
Big
the
hundreds too, and
strike
quick.
rate, yeah, the hundreds at a time when the series was in the balance, because this is before Australia even had a match, had a win for the series, right? Because it was in Adelaide. Yeah, it was Adelaide. Adelaide against Pink Ball. Then the next match to do it in at the Gabba. Yeah, 8.5 out of 10. and
Okay.
the wicket to get punt out. That the wicket to get, although he didn't do much, it was punt, but still he got the wicket.
He bowled it. He bowled it. No, I agree with that. I agree
Yeah.
with that. What about Constas?
Ooh, Sammy Constas. It's a tough one. The
Small
MCG
sample
innings,
size.
small sample size. The MCG innings was a game changer.
60.
I liked his assertiveness. You felt like something was always going to happen when he was at the crease.
Yeah.
You felt like if he stuck around, he was going to move the game forward. So I'd probably give him a 6/10.
Yeah, yep. I would. I think that's fairly rated. So no, I'm cool with that. Okay, no, that's cool with me. Okay, now we'll go to the all rounders, and some may say that I missed Nathan McSweeney, but he's actually listed as an all rounder. So Nathan
Oh.
McSweeney. Yeah. Don't wait. I don't forget him. I don't forget
Oh
him.
yeah,
Yeah,
I'm seeing
batting
it
all
here.
rounder.
Yeah, he's all rounder. Yeah.
Yeah, batting
Okay,
all
well,
rounders. So Nathan McSweeney.
okay. So his drop badly treated. I don't think he deserved to be dropped. Felt like he deserved to be given another chance. That's tough. I would go. The innings in Adelaide was really good, but otherwise he looked all at sea against Bumrah. Khawaja, I gave 3. I probably give him a 3 as well.
Really?
Probably give him a 3/10. You go higher?
No, I go lower. I would
You
say
go lower.
2.5. I would go
2.5?
2.5. I would go
Okay.
2.5. Yeah, again, I don't blame him for the performance. I don't. He's not an opener. They really put him in the fire, and you're facing Bumrah at the peak of his powers. You
And
know,
he's a middle order batsman too.
that's what I'm, yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's a
Yeah.
middle order batsman, right? So
Yeah.
again, I'm not blaming him, and I just want to give a shout out to him as well because I think we just learned that he's part of the Test series squad with Sri Lanka.
Oh,
So
I didn't even see that.
oh yeah, he is.
Okay.
Yeah, so they selected him for the Test series Test matches with Sri Lanka. So no,
Oh,
good.
nice.
Yeah. So
I
it's good
want
they
to
have
check.
faith in
I
him.
want to check that out. Yeah, I didn't.
Yeah. But no, I don't. I think it was just in the wrong position for him, and 2.5. I think you were expecting him to get out. Every time.
Okay. I thought that Adelaide innings gave him some points there, but yeah. Okay.
Just my thoughts.
Yeah. I could see that.
All right, now
All
let's
right.
go to the other all rounder. Surprisingly, because I don't think he bowled too much, Mitch Marsh.
1/10. If you could give Rohit Sharma 1/10, Mitchell Marsh is getting 1/10. This
I
guy didn't
agree.
do anything the entire series. He deserved to be dropped in Sydney, and I think he's done. Did
Yeah.
he get named? Did he get named to Sri Lanka? I don't think so.
I don't think he did.
Yeah, I think he's done. I think his career's done.
Yeah.
Now with Bo Webster, and then you have Cam Green in the wings as well. There's 2 all-rounder spots right there. I think he's done. Unfortunately, he's a great player, good bowler too, great player to be around, to have
Good
in the
vibes.
team. Yeah, good vibes, right? But yeah, pretty poor series. Didn't do much with the bat. I think the only innings of substance was the one in Perth when Australia already lost the Test match.
Yeah.
Right.
It was
Yeah, gave a couple of overs in Perth as well, but again, nothing after that. Barely bowled. Yeah, 1/10.
Yeah. I think yeah, like you could maybe
Highlight
give a
was the catch.
0.5. Yeah, I didn't say it. Maybe
Highlight was
0.5.
the catch.
He had a few good catches.
Yeah.
Right, in
Yeah.
the slips as well. Right. So yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, 1 or 1.5. But no, I agree. Definitely low. So no. Okay, fair enough. So now the all rounder that some say changed the Test match. Bo Webster, and someone you've been trying to get in the squad for a while.
I've been trying to get him score for the second Test match. Jeez, they finally did it.
I know, and it worked. They should have listened to our podcast.
Yeah. Well, so based on one Test match, right?
Yeah.
Oof. .5 out of 10. 8.5 out of 10.
I think I agree with that because his batting was so important.
That 50 was a game changer. He seemed at
100%.
ease, and then his fielding caught everything. He bowled well as well. He didn't
Yeah.
give runs. May have not taken wickets in the first
He got
innings.
Gill
Maybe
out.
he just got the one wicket. Yeah,
Yeah,
Gill, but
Gill.
and I think it was a strangle down leg side or some
No,
weird dismissal.
Gill moved up with his feet, and then he went for a shot inside edge. Carey caught
Inside
it.
edge. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I think, and then to come in at a stage where, again, a little dicey. If he got
Yeah,
out,
very
you're
dicey.
into the lower order, right? But he he was able to stitch that partnership with Head and win the match for Australia and the series. So 8.5 out of 10.
Yeah, you know what? Fair enough. I would have said 8, but I think he also hit the match-winning runs as well, right? So
Yeah.
give him point
Yeah.
five for that. Give him point
Yeah.
five for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. No.
For sure.
Fair enough. So we're off with the all-rounders, and now comes the wicketkeeper, Alex Carey. What were your thoughts on Alex Carey?
You know what? With wicketkeepers, we got to judge them on their keeping too. And I don't know if we did that with punt. I think we did it purely in his batting. But
That's true.
right, I think Carey, from a batting standpoint, he had a couple of good innings. I think he had a 70 in there somewhere, although Australia were already in a good position. His keeping was solid. Don't think he dropped anything or anything major.
No, I don't think he dropped anything at all, I think.
Yeah. I think he just had a solid series. So I would say 6.5 out of 10.
Yeah, I would say 6 or 6.5. Yeah, I think to your point, I think maybe he just had one 50-plus score.
Yeah. One or two 50-plus
one or
scores.
two
He had a
scores,
couple of
yeah.
partnerships with the lower order here and there.
Mhm.
But nothing of note, like nothing like eye-catching. And his keeping was solid. So I think he just had overall just a solid series. Like, you can't talk bad, you can't talk great. It was just good. It was a good series for him.
I agree. So let me just recap right now. Your highest right now is Bo Webster at 8.5, or is it 8?
And Travis Head and Bo tied
Yes.
8.5. Yeah.
Goes dive, and then Mitch
Mitchell
Marsh.
Marsh at 1.
Poor Mitch
Unfortunately.
Marsh. All right, now let's go to the quicks. Or should I, we'll see all bowlers. Right? Let's go to all the bowlers.
Yeah.
Because Lion did play, right? Pat Cummins, captain. What were your thoughts on him?
Oh my gosh, 9 out of 10.
I
9
agree.
out of 10.
I agree.
Bro,
I agree.
he's so underrated. He took 25 wickets, I think. No one even talks about that. He's taken 20, whatever it is, 23, 25 wickets in the entire series. Captaincy, led like a champion. Great fields, great planning, great bowling changes, batting. That in those 2 innings in MCG, game-changing innings. Yeah, it couldn't have asked for more.
Yeah.
Like, I would even say 9.10. I'll go 9.5. I'll go 9.5.
9.5? Fair enough.
Yep.
Fair enough. I'll say I agree with
He was a bit off in Perth. The only blemish was Perth.
Yes, Perth.
Otherwise,
I agree.
Killed it. 9.5
No, hey,
out of 10.
I remember at Perth, people were saying to get rid of his captaincy after Perth, which
Crazy
was
talk.
crazy, right? So, okay, 9.5, fair enough. I would give him a 9, but no, I agree with that. So, fair enough. Scott Boland.
Oh.
Yes. Now, where do you put him after giving Cummins a 9.5? Where do you put him?
10 out of 10.
Wow.
You know his average? His average is almost the same as Bumrah's average for the series.
Yeah,
his bowling average.
It's crazy.
It's in the 13s.
Oh my gosh.
And if he played all 5 test matches, who knows? The results could have been way worse for India. He was a thorn, like, especially in Sydney. Yeah. Easily 10 out of 10.
Fair enough. I think because I gave Cummins a 9, I would have given him a 9.5, but still, incredible player, and I agree with all the points you just mentioned. No, so Scott Boland, and what a luxury for Australian cricket to have a bowler like that. Like, are you kidding me? And now, who did he replace? Hazelwood. Remember him? What were your thoughts on him?
Yeah. So he played 2 test matches. You know,
and he was good.
He was good. But then the injuries happened, and so that tells me, like, his body's wearing down. And if it wasn't for Boland, that could have hampered Australia's chances, right?
Yeah.
He was good when he played, though, so I'd give him 6 out of 10.
Yeah. Yep, I agree with that. I agree with that. 6 out of 10 is fair. Yeah, because he did play the first test match in which Australia lost, but fair enough. 6 out of 10. How would you rate Nathan Lyon?
Yeah, so
That's a tough
obviously
one.
tough. Obviously
Yeah.
tough because he barely bowled. But I judge for when they did do something, right? So when he was given the ball, he did not leak runs. And at the
Yes.
MCG, he bowled well and he took those wickets towards the end. In the collapse that happened, he got the final wicket of Siraj. You never know with those last couple wickets because they can
100%.
drag the game along. And there were only like 15 overs left in the game, 15, 20 overs left in the game. So he did well in that last game. And I think that was his highlight of the series. And I would say, given how much he bowled, yeah, I think another 6 out of 10.
Okay. No, I agree with that. I would have maybe said 5, but no, I would say for what he bowled, fair enough.
I was thinking 5 as well, but it's not all his fault. It
No, I
was the
agree. Yeah.
conditions, it was the circumstances. But when he was given the ball, he didn't do anything bad,
Fair
right? I
enough.
don't think he did anything bad.
No, fair enough. Now, the last one we have here is Kratz, Mitchell Stark. What are your thoughts about him?
Ooh, almost forgot about him.
Pink
Adelaide
ball.
definitely hit.
Yeah.
Yeah, pink ball, the king of pink balls. The fact that he played all test matches, given his
Yes.
history of having injuries, you think he'd be the one sitting out, not Hazelwood? Didn't do much with the bat. He had that innings in Perth where he hung out there, but with the ball, he was dangerous. He did have his lengths and lines in check. He didn't give as many runs as he usually does. Sometimes he's notorious for spraying. He did show signs of that in Sydney. I think that's when his back started giving way. You could start to see like the series wearing on him. Solid performance, match-winning performances in there as well. 8 out of 10.
Fair. Yeah. I think that's a very, very fair rating. Mitchell Stark, year in and year out, you know what you're expected from him, and he delivers more than half the time, right? He's an incredible bowler, and especially with the new ball, if it's his day, he can really go at it. And I think he got better of Jaiswal more than a few times. So no, I agree. I think Mitchell Stark definitely 8 out of 10. It's a fair rating.
All right, awesome. There you have it. There's our ratings, and I think if we quickly like just analyze what we just talked about,
Yeah.
it's right there, right? It's like Australia definitely had better performers in both the bowling and batting department and the all-rounder department. And I think that's where the series was, right? Mainly in the bowling. I think we gave a lot more high numbers in the bowling. Australia's bowlers were just far more superior than India's.
No,
And that was the
exactly.
game right there. India had one, and that was Bumrah, but Australia had a team of bowlers. They all bowled well, and yeah, I think that's the game right there. That was the series for India or for Australia, I
Yeah.
should say.
No, I completely agree. I think a lot of the ratings were super low for India, and yeah, Australia is just they played better as a team, right? So no, I completely agree.
All right, awesome. That brings us to the end, finally, of the BGT series. It's been one hell of a series. We can't wait for the next one. But in the meantime, we got some T20s to watch. India playing England. I think it's Jan 23rd, the first one. So we'll be covering those, and we look forward to that. But until the next test series, that's stumps for today's play.